have the management with us right now on the show from Tech Mahindra. Hi, sir. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for speaking to us. First up, as just the basic hygiene question, I'd like to understand what is the plan forward. The board meet is going to happen. The big buyback plan is something. Okay, the buyback has been approved. Tech Mahindra will be spending up to 1,900 crore rupees on the share buyback. Mr. Bhat, talk to us about the plans that you have for the company. What's making you so confident that you're looking at such an attractive buyback?
First of all, I think just on the buyback, right? So it's 1956 crores, which is about up to 2.1% of the company's equity, which we are planning to do that. And it is at a price of 950. So really speaking, I think if I look at this decision, I think we should view it as a decision to allocate capital back to shareholders in a manner which is tax efficient for them and also obviously rewards long-term shareholders for being with the company and supporting the company through this journey. Coming to the business prospects, and I've said this before, that if I look at our view on the market, I think the demand is firm. I think if I look at the things around the growth rates, telecom vertical is looking up overall from where it was over the last 2-3 years, and the enterprise vertical continues to do well. So from overall business prospects, I think it's fairly steady. So I think the buyback decision should be viewed more as a capital allocation decision and maybe even independent of what's happening in the business. Yeah.
Just update us on what is happening in the business. What are some strategies, what are some projects that you're currently working on, or any new client additions that you'd like to talk to us about that one can look forward to as an investor?
So from an overall perspective, as I mentioned, I think there are 2 or 3 key themes here. So one is, of course, from our perspective, the whole strategy around 343, and that's working out very well, and we are betting on some of the key themes happening in the world of digital and modernization of technology. And across customers, we are seeing those trends play out. If you look at, for example, our digital revenue, it's up to 33% of total revenues. It grew in excess of 10% quarter on quarter last quarter, and a year-on-year basis in excess of 30%. So clearly, I think from a mainstreaming of digital, that's happening. If I look at some of the deal win statistics, the last 2 quarters have seen some of the highest deal wins we ever had. So I think if I look at quarter 2, it was about 550 million. Quarter 3 was about 440 million. The third thing is from a perspective of the telecom vertical or the communications vertical, I think we have seen growth come back into the vertical, and we are seeing a lot of activity and discussions with customers in terms of how to truly modernize, how to truly use digital technologies for their business benefits. So, and lastly, on margins, clearly we have gone through a journey where we have improved margins significantly, and focus on operating metrics is something we'll continue to do even in the future.
Yesterday we had some commentary coming in from the management, from the leadership of NASSCOM, saying that they're cautiously optimistic about the growth prospects in the year 2019. What is it that you would like to respond to that statement? How is the business looking like? How's the year likely to shape up specifically for your company?
So for us, specifically, if I look at it, I think the communications business, which is about 43% of revenue, we have indicated that we will see an acceleration, and our growth rate over the full year will be around the mid-single digits. And on the enterprise side, I think we have always said that we will try to meet or beat the industry growth rate. So we're talking about an 8 to 10% kind of range of growth for the enterprise business. And that's fairly consistent with probably what CP said yesterday in terms of being cautiously optimistic. I think, as we said, there are enough indicators there that the demand environment will, as of now, continues to remain fairly steady, and we should be able to execute on some of these numbers based on the current visibility.
From a future growth perspective, just before I let you go, one very quick question. What are the segments, what are the verticals that you're betting on the most, which will be, taking the company to the next leg of growth?
So from a vertical perspective, clearly our top 3 or 4 verticals, which is communications, manufacturing, BFSI, and healthcare, we expect to do reasonably well on most of those. As I said, on communications, we'll see an acceleration from where we were over the last 3 years. Manufacturing continues to be strong. I think the whole modernization of the factories, the whole IoT phenomena playing out in terms of solutions which will modernize the factory floor, that's playing out very well. On BFSI, I think we are seeing a lot of initiatives around fintech, around blockchain. So all of these trends, really speaking, I think point to these 3 or 4 verticals will continue to drive growth for us. We're also seeing a lot of interesting work being done in terms of some of the smaller verticals around retail, around public services, and we are seeing adoption of e-governance across many of the emerging markets. That's another sweet spots we are seeing. From a technology perspective, as I mentioned, IoT, blockchain, we have invested a lot and we are starting to see some of the returns come through in many of the projects we are doing today. So that's the reason I think we feel that from an overall trend perspective, it remains strong in terms of the digitization initiatives. And that's something which we see will continue going into 2019.
Okay, that's very encouraging to hear, Mr. Bhat. Just out of curiosity, this particular buyback has been announced at a very attractive price point. The street is always, as expected, very enthused by your announcement. More buybacks could be expected going forward?
So I think from a overall perspective, if I look at our policy of capital return, I think buybacks will continue to be a feature of that. The timing, quantum, etc., will always depend on business requirements, because I think overall the tax effectiveness plus the ability for all shareholders to participate in such a kind of buyback is something which we like, and we would try to continue this whole buyback phenomena going into the future years also.
Okay, great. All the very best, Mr. Bhat. Thank you so much.